Guys, click that like button down below in 5 seconds if you thought the Galactus event was amazing. The Nexus War event, it was so cool. Alright guys, now getting into the video itself, we have so much to go over here. We are going to explain exactly what happened during this event, what all of it meant and stuff like that, and especially going over what happened with Jonesy, Agent Jonesy to be specific. And we're also going to be explaining the audio logs that Epic Games has given us over on their Twitter account, and what that means for Season 5. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe right now and turn on notifications for Season 5 videos starting tomorrow. I've got a bunch of awesome stuff to post, so you don't want to miss that at all. Also, if you're going to get the Battle Pass, be sure to use code TheLlamaSir before doing so, because as an Epic partner, it helps out the channel a ton. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Now, first things first, before we explain exactly what happened, let's go over a quick recap of the event itself, because there was a lot going on, so let's just refresh our memories on that quick. But yeah, first things first, if you got in early enough, I logged in like half an hour before, you got put onto the helicarrier right at the start, and you had to wait quite a while depending on when you got in. Also, comment down below if you got into the event. I'm curious how many of you guys did. But yeah, after that, all of a sudden, Galactus started to get closer and closer until he was finally right above us, and he was gigantic. After that, he slowly started to move his arms back and forth and said some stuff along the lines that he was hungry. He like charged up by clenching his fists and got all powerful and stuff like that, and used that power to swipe away the helicarrier, which caused it to crash to the ground and send us flying. Now here's where something really cool happened. Iron Man shows up out of nowhere and saves us from falling, and then hands us a jetpack. And then he goes on to say that we need to stop Galactus from eating the 0 point. Now right after that, we get to see Galactus going after the 0 point. That's an important thing we need to talk about. But yeah, he starts to gain the power from the 0 point itself, and Iron Man warns us of like a full collapse. And this is where it gets even more interesting. We get sucked into the 0 point and then teleported to this like alternate dimension where we are inside of a battle bus in first person, the ones that Iron Man had made and stuff like that, and there's tons around us. If you walk to the front, you can see Galactus in the distance, and then Iron Man shows up to explain a bit more. He says that he used the time loop to bring us to like an alternate reality, made the battle buses into a bunch of bombs, and then duplicated them a ton, and that we need to get Galactus to eat them in order to stop him from what he's doing. So then we go ahead and fight a bunch of drones, which is really cool. You actually got to control the battle bus and fight against the incoming drones. At one point though, Galactus starts to like target you, but then Thor comes in to save the day and start driving you around a little bit and sending you to this really cool like driving section that we again get to fly through and fight some drones and try not to hit stuff. That was really awesome. Then Wolverine comes to help us out and get us closer to Galactus by breaking through a bunch of drones and getting us right in front of him. Then Galactus himself starts to devour all of the battle buses in front of him, which causes them to then explode and deal a ton of damage, essentially defeating Galactus, we think, and then sending him back to reality through the 0 point or rift. And then finally we got one random scene of Agent Jonesy in the office, but there's alarms going off, something is clearly wrong, and then he wakes up and it sends us to a teaser for Season 5. So yeah, that was the recap. It was crazy, but let's go ahead into explaining what happened. But yeah, going ahead and hopping into it, we've got a lot to cover, and especially we'll cover Agent Jonesy and what all of that stuff means. And then we'll also hop into something Fortnite put up on Twitter, is a huge teaser to the Season 5 map and Battle Pass and so much more called Project Hunter. But yeah, jumping into the event itself, there was a lot of straightforward stuff to it, but there were a bunch of questions. Like for example, what happened after Galactus drained a bunch of the energy from the 0 point? We do know later on, according to the tweet, that the 0 point is unstable, obviously from Galactus trying to take a bunch of energy from it. In fact, he did take a lot of it, enough to cause us to go into a different dimension and fight him. Then he got sent back after that, back into, well, we assume the normal dimension, because he went through a rift, and that's where it all like cut out. Now also, we don't know if Galactus is like fully defeated. We are assuming he is, and honestly, it would make sense from like a gameplay perspective that he would be defeated, considering that he was the main part of this event and stuff like that. But maybe they will have him come back in Season 5. I guess it's not entirely set in stone quite yet. On top of that, something I found very interesting is that we only got to see 3 of the Marvel characters from the Battle Pass, when apparently, or supposedly, most of them were meant to help out. So where were the other ones? Where was Storm? Where was She-Hulk? That leaves a lot of questions up in the the air, but also hints towards maybe we will get another battle with them in the near future. But then let's talk about the scene with Agent Jonesy. This is by far the most mysterious scene of the event, considering that it was added at the end. So again, going over it, we see Jonesy in the office from the, what was it? Pretty sure season 2, right? Yeah, season 2 with the spies and stuff during that event. But this time there's a bunch of alarms going off and things like that. Now, if you remember, in that first event with Agent Jonesy, we got to figure out that he was like in charge and monitoring the 0 point and what was happening. He said a bunch of stuff about it being stable and that was good and things like that, until we like showed up in his office and he was like, how did you get here and how can you hear me? Now, what's interesting about that is that if there's a bunch of alarms going off, that means that there is again a problem with the 0 point, which can mean a ton of different things. But as I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that with the tweet and also some audio Fortnite gave us in just a second. But basically, a lot of stuff is going down, and I think we'll see more of Agent Jonesy in season 5, especially in regards to events and story type stuff. But after that, there was another bit of info that we need to cover first, and this adds so much to the story. So basically, over on Fortnite's official Twitter, they had put up this tweet right here, which basically says 0 point unstable Project Hunter beginning upload, reply with code #bounty to accept transmission. So yeah, guys, already they are adding a ton of interesting stuff here, but there's even more coming up. So yeah, in reply to that, Fortnite then put out another tweet that contained an audio clip, and I'll play that in just a second. But they said in the text, incoming audio transmission, reality log 1987, number 1 of 6, target description, defender, shapeshifter, and then reply with confirmation code wildheart to accept next transmission. But yeah, listen to the audio right here.
Why is every jungle in every reality crawling with venomous snakes and strange predators? Whatever. It'll all be worth it when I find Maeve. Locals around here call her a wild heart. That's a shapeshifter to you and me. Rumor has it the gods have granted her 3 forms: shark, harpy, and oh, actually no one's lived long enough to see the 3rd one. This'll be fun.
Yeah, guys, that is insane. There is so much there, so much packed into it, so let's go ahead and dissect it. Now, the first most interesting thing is the fact that the guy is in a jungle. Now, what a lot of people are assuming from this is that we're probably going to be getting a jungle biome during Season 5, which would make a lot of sense. They've done it before with the volcano-like biome that we had on the Chapter 1 map. That also begs the question on if the Chapter 1 map could be returning, since there was a jungle on that map, but that's completely up in the air as of right now. Personally, I think it's just a brand new location that they're adding, but you never know. Also, he says that there's a bunch of predators and then you hear one. So what I'm expecting is that we are going to get a brand new predator similar to the shark that we had the previous chapter. The shark that you could ride around and it would damage you. That would make a lot of sense. Who knows what it could be, but there could also be venomous snakes as he talks about. But yeah, what about the person he talks about? The shapeshifter that he says goes by the name of Maeve. Maeve or Wildheart, which is like her nickname that's been given to her by, what did he say, villagers or something like that. He said she can turn into like a shark, a harpy, and then a 3rd form that we don't know of quite yet. Now, with all of that together, I think this is just going to be one of the Battle Pass skins that will play a role in the story in some way, most likely. But considering that it has 3 different forms, that would be perfect for 3 different styles that you can unlock again in the Battle Pass. So yeah, that's my guess on what that means, but there is a lot of interesting stuff there for sure. Not only that, you can also take a look at the text. Like in the first tweet, they said that the 0 point is unstable. That is very intriguing because that is likely how we're going to get this brand new location, if not an entirely new map. If you guys remember, the first time the 0 point was unstable is when we got the Chapter 2 map. That's how we got all the way over to it, so it's entirely possible this could be the 3rd brand new, I've said it a bunch, but map that we could play on. Not only that, they also say Project Hunter, which I think is the theme of Season 5. Not a whole lot of details on that quite yet, but it could have something to do with this guy in the audio clip, which at first I thought was maybe Iron Man, but I don't think so anymore. I think he's like a hunter that is going around catching bounties on these characters, considering that, again, they said to use the code #bounty to accept the transmission. Overall, though, there's a lot to talk about. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for Season 5 videos coming up super soon. You do not not want to miss those. And you can also check out some of my previous videos on the screen. Got some really fun ones, like 9 things you didn't know you could do in Fortnite. But again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.